Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Elijah, coming back with you for. So, the challenge is complete, but upon request from my friend, she wanted me to make a video talking about my journey along the way of the 100 Days of Practice challenge, and she wanted me to talk about the challenge itself. While I talk to you guys, this is a perfect time for me to clean my violin. So I'm gonna be cleaning my violin and then talking to you as well. So here we go. I'm gonna start off with a little something I wrote. I don't know. I wrote it because my college newspaper, they posted on Facebook saying, if you did anything interesting during the summer, we would like to hear about it, and you can get it published in a newspaper. So I got to writing, ideas formulating the next day. So I titled this paper "Wishing Upon a Star," and this is the intro of my summer. So I'm gonna read that, then I'm gonna go into my journey. So I started out. Over the course of the summer, my interest in playing music grew immensely. I did not know how much music would have an impact on me. That is, of course, until I sat down for my first ever orchestra rehearsal. I believe that music has a unique power to evoke emotion, whether that emotion be good or bad. Music will always make us reminisce on how fortunate we are or remind us how unfortunate we are. I have always wanted to play the violin, but I didn't know how far that dream could take me. This summer I got to experience firsthand how far a dream, and with a little help, wishing upon a star could take me. And that dream came to fruition. See, now, I'm gonna go ahead and put my computer on sleep, so I could get the glare out of my eyes. So that was talking about my summer adventure, but that correlates with my overall journey with the 100 days of practice. So let's see, I'm gonna start cleaning my violin, if I remember. I just looked at how dirty my violin is. Okay. Well, not my violin, my rag. I looked how dirty it is. So anyway, long story short, so that it correlates with my overall adventure, my journey, so to say, with that 100 days of practice, because it all started with an idea and essentially a dream, because as you may have noticed, I cannot play the violin regularly. I have tried in the past and it didn't turn out great. So the dream was to get a left-handed violin, and luckily with many months of searching on the internet, I found a left-handed violin, and the next step was to save up some money to get my violin. See, and the violin, the outfit was not cheap. It was so I got the intermediate outfit when I could have gotten a student or a beginner violin, but I wanted the intermediate, so it's what I really wanted. And then luckily last year I started working at the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. So I had some money saved up, and come around, let's say, I want to say Christmas time. Coming around like Christmas time, I was like, I am buying all these presents for my family, which is fine. I didn't mind. But I'm buying them presents, and I'm like, alright, now it's time to get myself a present, to reward myself of the hard work that I did over the past year. So I remembered that I always wanted to play the violin, and I saw on a website that they have left-handed violins. So I was like, oh, okay, I can get that, with my money I saved up. So I was so excited. I got my violin. And then, I was trying to find that inspiration to, go ahead and traverse on this journey that I had set forth. So I did. I went on the internet, and luckily I found an article talking about Hillary Hahn and how she set forth this challenge, the 100 Days of Practice Challenge. The idea of the challenge was she wanted us to not only practice, but she wanted spectators to see what goes on in your mind while practicing. So that's what the idea of the 100 days of practice mainly is. She wants people to see what goes on in our minds while practicing. So I thought it was a good idea to set forth on this challenge. I during the time I knew that what I was getting myself into. I was because I'm a beginner, I'm not good, and people can comment on the internet, saying whatever they want. And so, of course, I was scared. But it was something I really wanted. So I finally got the violin, and away I went, so to say. So let's clean that. So yeah, day 1 through I want to say day 7, I was basically recording without getting any lessons. So So I was trying to find the perfect teacher because when I had my, I guess you could say, orthodox violin, I, um, I didn't like the teacher. It felt more of a business to me than an actual school, and I didn't like that. So yeah, I didn't like that, and then so I'm done polishing Lefty. So now it's time to get the strings all cleaned up, and I love the polish. You can really see the shine, and yeah. So anyway, so I was looking for the perfect teacher, and I was messaging all these teachers, saying, I play a left-handed violin. Do you think you'd be able to help me? And then one day I got an email back saying, yeah, I think I can help you, I can teach you technique, everything, and I've taught a left-handed violin player before. So I was like, wow, must have been, right? So yeah, going on, getting my lessons, and during the first days of the lessons, I was like, wow, I am a total failure, right? I'm a total fraud, like, what am I doing? And, and all that. And then, I come back home and record, for the 100 days of practice. And I'm like, still doing bad. And, I'm like, wow. So, yeah, I'm gonna, go ahead and, like, fast forward because I don't want to talk about that per se. And, but, so, yeah, my journey through the 100 days of practice. Hopefully that's clean enough. It was very, to be honest, at first I was like, yeah, spring chicken, not expecting anything. Then it becomes tedious by becoming repetitive. And then I faced a lot of burnout, and I was like, so I faced a lot of burnout, and I was like, I don't want to practice because I'm only practicing to record. Like, I'm not practicing just to practice, and so that's where the burnout came. I was like, I can only practice for like 15 minutes, and I want to practice more. But then, but I just had to do it. So I just had to keep on plucking away with all the days of practice, and I had to practice, just force myself to get in front of the camera. Definitely there were times when I didn't want to go forward with this challenge, but I told myself that I had to because I have a dream, and that's to play the violin. Now, so fast forward to, with all that being said, fast forward to my summertime. So I'm practicing, like, I want to say I'm getting close to, like, day 70 and all that. I search up online to find that Disneyland is holding a music conservatory. So I was like, oh, I want to do this, but would they accept me because I'm a left-handed player? And all that. Because I always hear that, oh, an orchestra is never going to have a left-handed player because they like to have all their violinists and stuff go in the same direction. That would be to the left. So you bow with your right, that bow is aiming to the left. And mine's aiming to the right. So, but the thing is, like, do people really know? Like, has a conductor, like, flat out said that? Or are they speculating because they have never seen a left-handed violin before? So I was like, so I just wanted to do it for myself, and yeah. So I put on this fundraiser, tell me go to the conservatory and better play my instrument, and then so that was the goal. Then I finally reached that goal of $1,000. That was the tuition. So I said okay, and then when I got there, I was like, what am I doing? So, I'm not that good. So, but when I sat down, the feeling I got, I was like, I belong here. So, like, I feel right where I need to be. This feels right. So, like, I would have never thought, like, by starting this challenge, I would suddenly feel that type of way. All the way back in January, I would have never thought that way. And so, yeah. So I just had to keep pushing, and then, I ended up changing my major to music because playing the violin I love it, and then making beautiful music with the violin, I love it even more, and that's what I want to do. So hopefully I can, continue progressing, and then eventually get into music school. I know that I started this, late, but it wasn't my fault because I got sick when I was younger. I got muscle atrophy, and I'm not able to play a regular violin. So I had all these special factors had to come into place for me to play the violin. I remember when I got my violin, I was like, how am I going to play this when I'm right-handed, So here's my right side, my right arm, my right leg. It's on my right side of the brain. My left arm, left leg on the left side. How am I gonna switch that? I had to switch it so I can play bow with my left and play with the opposite hand. That's so after couple hours of rigorous practice, I finally managed to do that. Then, next thing you know, I'm playing Twinkle Twinkle. Next thing you know, I'm playing The Incredibles at, the Hyperion in California Adventure. So, the moral of the story is don't ever give up when people are looking like. Basically, don't ever give up when people are being skeptical, because they're always going to be skeptical, they're always going to be critical, and at times they're always going to be condescending, like, you don't know what you're doing, like, what are you doing here? And then so, like, just keep doing what you want to do. Pursue your dream, okay, whatever that may be. I was listening to a podcast. I love this podcast. It's the YABNN podcast. And I love YA. That's my favorite genre, like going on fantasy adventures and all that. But one of the most well known and one of the best YA authors, Leigh Bardugo. She was talking on that podcast, and then so Melissa Albert, she's another author. She's the interviewer for the podcast. She asked Leigh Bardugo to give advice to aspiring writers, and Leigh Bardugo was like, well, thanks for saying writers and including everyone, and not saying, aspiring writers instead of saying young writers, because talent doesn't have an expiration date. And that was very comforting to hear, because like I said, I'm 23. I just picked up my violin beginning of this year. I've only played for 6 months, and then going into the conservatory, and then just being able to play when other kids have like 5-10 years, and all that. So it was very comforting. Then she basically said in the actual advice, she said, whenever you have your bad days, look at them with look at them with adversity, and to really, if you're gonna fail, be happy you're gonna fail, because that means you're trying to do something bigger, and you're trying to do something that you want to be better at. Because the only person that's stopping you from getting from point A to point B is yourself. So you're going to have to just go through that time and place, and just go on it with a, I don't want to say hot head, but go on it with a firm head and saying, well, I'm trying to accomplish something bigger than myself, and I see myself, within this dream. So go ahead, chase your dreams, and don't ever give up. I never did, and look where it's gotten me. So I finished the 100 days of practice. So I'm happy to Hillary Hahn. I can't thank her enough for this challenge. I would like to extend this challenge to my friend in Michigan right now, John, percussionist. I challenge you to the 100 days of practice. I challenge Matthew, one of my string section, conservatory deskies. I challenge Hallie. She's getting ready to audition for the music school, but I also encourage her to go on to this challenge. So, and then lastly, I want to challenge you, all of the viewers, if you have a dream, for whatever your hobby is, instrument, writing, singing, whatever it may be, keep chasing that dream and never give up, because the only person that's gonna stop you from achieving that dream is yourself. And you really don't know how far you can go until you really push yourself. And then when you're here at the point at the end of the challenge, you're like, I did all of that. Whatever may come my way is gonna be easy. Alright guys, well, so it's my little inspiration anecdote for you. And yeah, so hopefully I get to see more of you. I don't know if I'm gonna keep posting. I hope I do. Maybe posting songs, but I would love to hear in the comments of what you guys might have ideas for me. Until then, I'm gonna keep on practicing, going to school, reading, and yeah. Alright guys, have a good night. Peace.